The big concern is the refreezing because there's a lot of snow here. Right now, crews are out salting the sidewalks and the roadways ahead of this storm. As you can see, the flakes just started to fall here about 45 minutes ago.
Lawmakers in Texas consider a bill that forbids doctors from revealing whether or not their patients are gun owners. Students will demand answers when they host a public forum this afternoon. The defense will present their case in the trial involving Aaron Hernandez, the former football player with the NFL who's charged with murder. This is aerial video of a building on fire. The police chief of Ferguson saying at least a dozen buildings burned overnight. Crews are still working here behind me, cleaning up this scene. Now, Sergeant Paoni also told me that they are expecting Brock's Gap Road to be closed for some time. This morning, Ted Cruz is polling in the single digits and trails as many as 7 other candidates. Others expected to run include former Florida Governor Jeb Bush and Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Tom, this is the stage where the main event is going to take place here tonight as the people of Harrisonburg get ready to ring in the new year. About 3,000 people are expected to pack here in Court Square. Later this morning, the director of the Secret Service will testify before members of the House about a security breach involving 2 agents. If you're a Virginia high school student, you're ahead of the curve against millions of students nationwide. According to new data released by the College Board, Virginia is 3rd in the nation when it comes to advanced placement tests. Tom, as you can see here, much of the debris remains in this field and parking lot behind me. State police say a 17-year-old boy was driving his car on Route 340 around 2:25 this morning when he lost control of his car, came into this field, overturned several times in that parking lot, and ultimately landed all the way down there. He was ejected from his car and died at the scene. A sergeant with the state police says while they're still trying to figure out exactly what caused the crash, they believe the driver of the car was traveling at an excessive rate of speed. Since state law doesn't allow any driver under the age of 18 to be on the roads between 12 and 4 in the morning, they also want to know where he was headed. Gina Simmons and Jerry Hotsetter found the boy's body yards from his car after a loud noise woke them up. As a mother, Gina cannot imagine what his parents are going through today.
I have a 17-year-old child. I have 2 children. I have an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old, and when I seen that to someone's child, it broke my heart. It really did.
The sergeant I spoke to says they hope that results from a toxicology report will help them determine if alcohol played a role in the crash. As soon as we find that out, we'll have that for you first on WHSV.com. In Stewart's Draft, Brian Sheehan, WHSV. I spoke with one of Faulkner's family members who tells me police performed a similar raid here a few years ago. Those charges were dropped, and this afternoon, Faulkner expects these new charges to be dropped as well. A special agent with the Rush Drug Task Force tells me officers arrested Ingdoc Faulkner after they found 81 grams of synthetic marijuana inside this gas station, which she owns. The raid was part of a nearly 3-week operation and included surveillance of the property and undercover purchases to confirm the drugs were in fact illegal. Ralph Magri, who owns Kate's Natural Products, has known Faulkner for many years. He says he believes she may have come down on hard times, which led her to this.
And I think that's her big mistake there. There are other options to get out of the situation she was in. Better advice, better decision making. Again, bad decision by basically a very good person.
The agent I spoke to says Faulkner can remain free on bail for now until her next court appearance. That date has not yet been set. In Harrisonburg, Brian Sheehan, WHSV. Tom, right now, members of the Secret Service are here in Stanton to meet with police and collect the counterfeit money someone used at this gas station. The owners of Dino's Subway say they are on edge. On Wednesday, officers came to their store to pick up a counterfeit $50 bill and surveillance footage from the weekend. Carol Riley is the store's manager. She says 2 customers paid with $50 Sunday, both purchasing a drink and pack of cigarettes. Riley says she does not recognize the suspect and never thought something like this would happen in Stanton.
You just go into shock because it's like most of our customers, we know them by name, and to think that we just got a phony 50 from somebody, it's like, who would do that? You know, I mean, it's really shocking. And then when you start trying to figure out what time and where, and it's like, who do you trust now?
Riley says while she and her coworkers trust their customers, this incident has them on edge, and they are not going to be accepting $50 bills for the near future. In Stanton, Brian Sheehan, WHSV.